Still sounding good, isn't he? Is our friend Gio Compario. Yes, thank you, Wyn. Brilliant stuff. So there you go then, that's the midday medley right here at GTFM. We began with Ace of Base and All That She Needs, and then we had some Sigma and Jack Severetti, and You and Me as One, and there you are, Gio Compario. And Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, he will be next Tuesday, Christmas Eve. In 2019. 15 after 12, pleased to say, joined by my second guest of the day, Mark Colbourne. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Gareth, and good afternoon, listeners.
Listeners, how are you? You okay?
I'm very good, sir, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously 1 week away from Christmas, so the anticipation is building,
I
shall
know.
we say.
Are you ready for Christmas?
Just about,
Yeah.
yes. I would be fibbing if I said yes.
Because us blokes, and I think I can talk for many blokes, probably past the 50% mark, it's always the last couple of days, isn't it, when we think, oh, I forgot that, oh, I forgot that, oh dear, that's not enough, I better get her or him something else. It's always the same, isn't it?
Yes, I think we're very lucky as males. You know, we think logically,
yeah,
which means we've got 5 more days. We've got plenty of time.
That
you
is
know,
4,
120 hours is loads of time. You know.
That's right. Anyway, Mark, welcome to the show. Welcome to GTFM. Nice
Thank
to
you.
speak to you. First of all, Valley's boy.
Yes, Valley's boy, born and bred. You know, in Tredegar, you know, the wonderful
an
environment.
Iron Bevan country.
Honestly, Gareth, you know, I've been very privileged now to present and speak all around the world, and I always relay back to the gratitude that I have, you know, growing up in a very strong constituency,
yeah,
you know, with an Iron Bevan, you know, literally on the lips of everybody, you know,
yeah,
as just an incredible man. And I actually heard a story back about 2 weeks ago of how it was with Michael Sheen, actually.
All right.
Of how an Iron Bevan, you know, transformed the NHS, you know, through obviously the mines, through Tredegar, through the miners, and they wanted to Tredegarise, you know, the UK. And I was like, what does that actually really mean?
Yeah,
and what he meant by that was using, you know, the local people to help the local people. You know? So
right.
when I heard
which is
that,
what an Iron Bevan done with the health service, didn't he?
Exactly. So to Tredegarise the UK, I was like, wow, you know,
that's not a bad thing.
To come from that kind of stock, I was like, yeah, that really lights me up, you know.
Well, when I worked, and I may as well say, because the station no longer exists, Valley's Radio, when I was there back in the day, Llyw Smith, the MP for Tredegar and Ebervale, used to come in quite regular for a chat on what was then the mid-morning show that I presented. Lovely man, but of course it's got a history, isn't it? Tredegar and that part of the world with some great politicians. Michael Foot comes to mind as well.
Yes, very much so, very much so, and I think that's something we have to be very honoured with, you know, certainly in South Wales as a whole, is coming from those heavy industries, and we transformed the world, you know, with a lot of our stock, you know.
Yeah.
So
and Neil Kinnock was born in Tredegar as well, wasn't he?
That's right. So you've got some great politicians.
Not a bad list there. Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, you know. Obviously, then
some people would say a bit gobby. That's
and then when you look at sport, you know, you have obviously there was Ray Raden,
yes,
you
of
know,
course,
world snooker champion, you know, just so many times over, and now Margaret's boy.
Yeah. Margaret's boy. Right, a little bit of history then, because of course you worked at Valleys for a time yourself, not this side of the mic though, as a salesperson.
Yeah, I think he was just helping local businesses, and I've said this on stage now as an international speaker that, you know, ever since I was a child, you know, I've always enjoyed helping people. You know, when you asked me to come on the show, the first thing I said was yes, and then when and what time. Okay, so it's a privilege to have that inert feeling to help other people. You know, because to do things for yourself sometimes is easy, but to help other people, okay, to achieve their dreams and their aspirations, that's another level. So when you look at people like all of the politicians, you know, throughout Tredegar, Ebervale, Abertillery, Bryn Mawr, Blackwood, and then when you look at an Iron Bevan, okay, as almost the godfather of you know, the NHS.
He set the bar, didn't he?
Of course he did. And that's why now I genuinely say there must be something running through the water in Tredegar, you know, because now for me, you know, many years on after my horrendous accident, that I still enjoy helping people. You know,
good for you. Now, talking of the accident, let's just tell the folks basically what happened. Your love for paragliding.
Yes, obviously, as you've just enlightened, you know, born and bred in Tredegar, went to Tredegar Comprehensive, went to Crosskeys College, studied sports science, and the one passion I always had, Gareth, was sport. Okay, and I mean, that was just my driver, you know.
Yeah.
And always loved racing triathlon. I was a keen rock climber, but one of the passions I always had was just the feeling of maybe flight.
Right.
That
yeah.
Peter Pan moment,
yeah.
as we talk about as children, you know.
I couldn't do that. Obviously,
you know?
never get off the ground.
Well, you never know. You never know. So when I first started paragliding, you know, flying, which was 2008 into 2009, so 10 years ago now. You know, we're going back a long time. But to take the listeners back to a specific date in time actually, which was the 2nd of May, 2009. So, you know, we're talking 10.5 years ago now. Above Rossilly Beach, you know, in the most tranquil part of South Wales.
Fantastic part of the
You know, the Gower Peninsula on a Saturday afternoon, bank holiday weekend, and the sun was shining, blue skies, beautiful afternoon, about, you know, I don't know, 18 degrees. It was just a wonderful bank holiday afternoon. And we were flying above Rossilly, above the top ridge, myself and about 20 other paragliding pilots, so I was in good company, you know.
Yeah.
And as I was flying, just enjoying the moment, unfortunately my paragliding canopy just collapsed. Unfortunately I flew into what they call a crosswind, which is almost like it's almost like black ice, Gareth, where you can't see it, you can't feel it, but it's there, you know. And as I flew into it, basically I had what they call a full canopy collapse, and within 2 seconds, you know, I've fallen, you know, out of the sky, hit the grass, landed on my feet, thankfully, because if I'd landed on my bottom, then the pressure would have gone up through my spine and probably killed me instantly, you know. So I hit the floor, and then the canopy reinflated, which meant I got dragged for about 100 meters. And I'll never forget that afternoon being airlifted, you know, just so grateful and thankful for the Wales Air Ambulance.
Well, they do a fantastic job.
Do an incredible job,
Yeah.
you know, just incredible, life-saving, you know, organisation. So I got airlifted that afternoon to Morrison Hospital, and basically got told that night by the doctor that unfortunately I'd broken my back.
Oh dear. So what was that first thought like? I mean, I suppose it's just a bundle of emotions all coming together at once.
Yeah, well, through psychology, what I've learnt, you know, actually studying the human body and the human brain, is that the human body goes through stages of change when shock happens, okay, or when change happens. And first of all, it was denial. It was
not
like,
me.
it's not me.
Yeah.
Surely not.
No.
You know. And then shock, then anger, because I hated myself, because
why did I do that?
Couldn't change it, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have to get to a point where you accept or decline. And the quicker you accept, the quicker you move on.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And I spent, well, I had a spinal operation in the Heath in Cardiff, so I've still got the 6 titanium pins, you know, in my back, having broken T12, which is the vertebrae around sort of belly button level. You know? So you can imagine they love me in the airports. They love me in the airports, setting all the alarms off.
Here he comes, Colbourne's coming.
Yeah, and obviously with my disability, you know, I walk like Charlie Chaplin, okay, which is fine. Which is fine. It is what it is. You know?
Better like that than the other alternative. Yeah.
Obviously. Oh yes. Well, even the even the doctor at the time in the Heath said to me, you know, how the hell did you survive?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, technically, Gareth, I probably should be in Ebbsville Cemetery.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But you know,
thankfully you are.
Thankfully,
and that's the main thing.
Yeah. So I spent 6 months in Rookwood Hospital.
All right.
In Cardiff, in Llandaff, rehabilitation, learning how to walk again, finding out which parts of my legs worked.
And meeting some great people, I suspect as well.
Unbelievable. And this is when the power of the NHS for me really kicked in. Really kicked in, because yes, the NHS may be a bursting point, okay, but it's still functioning. It's still delivering a 5-star service. In my opinion, it was probably the best treatment I could have had anywhere in the world, you know. Because
you obviously got around a bit then, because you started off obviously in Morriston, and then it was the Heath, you said, was it?
Yeah, so they brought me by Blue Lights ambulance up the M4, because they didn't have a surgeon, unfortunately. You know, because the surgeon in Morrison was actually on holidays. Which is unbelievable, isn't it? But, you know, Cardiff to Morrison, you know, it was like 45, 50 minutes. So they brought me up, I got operated on then, had this spinal operation, and then transferred to Rookwood for rehabilitation then for that 6-month period, you know, to learn how to walk again, find out which parts of my legs did work, which didn't, and so on and so forth. And I'll never forget just one point. After about 4 months, I honestly couldn't cry anymore. Okay, I'd almost got to the end of my tether. And
even with the support of your family and loved ones,
yeah, friends, family, the nurses, the consultants, I'd almost hit the bottom. Okay, I'd almost hit that dark point in my life, and I said to my parents, I said, I don't think I can do this anymore. You know, if I have money in the bank, contact somebody, find out about euthanasia, and let's just get it done.
It was that bad.
And my dad, God love him, right? My dad was known as Mr. Nice Guy, and he caught hold of me and he said, you listen to me now. You stop upsetting your mother and I, you pull yourself together, and you stop this, okay? Because you're a winner.
Good words, wise words.
That's all I needed to hear from my late dad.
Was there a reaction?
And it was just that change in the mindset. He scared me, man, Gareth. He really scared me.
Well, thankfully for that, though. Yeah, it sort of snapped you out of it, didn't it? Yeah. Right, we'll have a chat. We'll play a few songs, and we'll have a chat with Mark Colbourne, my very special guest today, and how he became a Paralympic gold medalist. GTFM.